This is CityCast Pittsburgh. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. Sophia, usually I ask you like an opening question, but I feel like you need to tell the people your big news.
Yes, I've been telling so many people for the past few days. I have a new cat. Her name is Mimolette. It's a type of cheese.
It is a type of cheese. I just saw it at the market because I went looking for it, and apparently it's very distinctive for having live. It's made with live cheese mites, which is not an animal I knew existed.
Mimolette the cat, mite-free, dewormed, no fleas,
no mites
so
for Kitty
she's
Mimolette.
Good. Yeah, but this is important to me because I love cats, but also Pittsburgh loves cats, which we'll get to later in this episode. We have a very special cat event coming up soon.
Yes, but if you've been listening to this show for a while, you are very aware of how important Sophia's cat Pistachio is to us. So we're expanding the family. Welcome, Mimolette. And welcome also to CityCast Pittsburgh contributor Sophia Lowe.
Yes,
Thank
hello.
you for coming. We're going to talk today about an upcoming special election in our region that may or may not influence the success of our state house, a lawsuit that Pennsylvania is bringing against TikTok, of all things, some new news outlets we think are worth knowing about, worth celebrating, an important update, and a chance to have your voice heard about PRT's big bus line refresh, plus your thoughts about some recent shows and events this week to mark your calendar for. So lots to cover. We're going to start with that special election. So this is for Pennsylvania's 12th State House district that covers mostly Butler County, Cranberry, Mars, Zelienople. That is taking place today, as you are hearing. And there's reasons for everyone in our region to be aware of this, which we're going to get into.
Yeah, so this special election is to fill Representative Stephanie Shalaba's seat. I hope I'm saying your name right. She's a Republican who resigned in March. And the two candidates running are Brandon Dukes, he's a Democrat, and Scott Timko, he's a Republican. And they will actually run against each other again in November in the general election. So
just a few weeks, literally just filling out the rest of Representative Shalaba's term. It's kind of, I mean, I understand why, but it also feels like the timing is just like kind of wasteful. So much money goes into these elections.
And, you know, this is a big deal because Republicans have held this seat for over 30 years. But some Pennsylvania Democrats think that this is a seat that can get flipped. And political junkies are really looking at this race as a bellwether for what the midterm elections are going to look like.
Yeah, I mean, it's effectively just like a turnout test to some extent, but it could be a bigger deal than it seems. Our buddy Stephen Caruso, who covers Harrisburg for Spotlight PA, says that this is our state's 50th legislative and congressional special election since 2017. 50th time.
Okay,
yeah.
Did not realize that.
I know, it's like a short amount of time. And he said he'd have to do the math on this, but it would be like maybe the 15th or 20th time just since 2023. And that he thinks maybe only one of those flipped. So that's why this is kind of an important, again, bellwether, because if Democrats do manage it, which the demographics of the region suggest it might because of the average household income and the education level, like if this portion of Butler County could be flipped, that could be a real statement for Democrats headed into the midterms.
So briefly, just a little background about the two people running. We will start with Scott Timko. He was formerly in the Air Force, and now he's a private aviation pilot. So some of the things he really supports are school choice. So this is to help families pick alternatives to public school. So that includes things like charter schools, homeschooling, that kind of thing. So it's been a hot button topic in a lot of elections here in Pennsylvania. But Timko has said that he doesn't want school choice to funnel money away from public schools in the state. So if he wins, I am interested in how he balances those two things. Timko also says he agrees with GOP leaders in Harrisburg who want more oil and gas well drilling. You know, those people say that they can maybe help offset the tax burden that many Pennsylvanians feel. I know lots of people are feeling some way about a lot of power, electricity, all those kinds of bills right now.
And he's voiced skepticism about data centers. I think he's been one of the Republican, at least in his election materials, voicing like hesitation about that. He does say elective abortion, this is his language, should be only allowed when a pregnancy will kill or permanently harm the mother. He says he wants to eliminate the Federal Department of Education. This is a state house seat. I don't know what effect he might be able to have on that. And notably, this is his third time running for the state house. He has a ton of signs up in that area, especially along that like 228 corridor, where like they say like no socialists, no dukes, playing off the Democrats'
Brandon
name.
Dukes, yep.
Yeah. There's also a sign alleging that Dukes wants to tax churches, but I have not found any evidence of that. I'm curious where he's getting it.
Also, once again, state house seat. I don't think you can just say, I'm going to tax churches now.
True. So Democrat Brandon Dukes, he's a dad, a commercial loan officer. His top priorities, according to his website, are improving education, infrastructure, affordability. He opposes school choice, says he wants to keep prescription costs low and affordable, wants to tax the heck out of data centers. He gave this quote to Spotlight PA where he says he would like to pause on data center development for, quote, however long it takes to make sure we get the regulations right. He also supports open primaries, in-person early voting. We've talked a lot about those two things here on the show.
Yes, because reminder, if you are an independent in Pennsylvania, you cannot vote for a Republican or Democrat in the primaries.
In the primary, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, he says he wants to raise the minimum wage. This is something the Pennsylvania House, the Democratic side of it, has been very much in favor of for a while. He supports the $15 amount. And another big thing that I've heard portions of his camp talk about a lot is trying to get transit funding, trying to get a more sustainable way to get that through. Again, I think he's talking about like that 228 block, which if you're not up there all the time, it's like the main road that intersects 79. So like if you want to go to the Wegmans and the Meijer, you want the 228 corridor to get finished before those grocery stores open up because it's got this weird bottleneck to it where like 4 lanes of traffic suddenly become 2 and it creates a backup, especially because there's a church right there and it's always like a thing. When we go visit family up there, especially on the weekends, you are just stuck in traffic for a good long time.
And I do not want to be stuck in traffic when I go to Wegmans.
If you're doing your Meijer grocery run right there, you are going to be in a massive pickle. That's all I'm saying.
And Dukes has run for office before. Last year, he lost the race for Cranberry Township supervisor, but I think it was pretty narrow.
Yes, I think the way I've heard a lot of reporters describe it is within a whisker. So that was kind of a surprise for folks. Again, no matter who wins any of this, both of these dudes are going to face each other again in November because this race is just to fill that empty seat for a short period of time. So the midterm election is coming up Tuesday, November 3rd, and that matters for everyone listening, regardless of this race.
Yes, the registration deadline for the election in November is October 19th. So if you moved or, you know, whether within Pennsylvania or to Pennsylvania, good reason to check. Check just in case.
Find your polling place.
Exactly.
Yeah, make sure you are registered, you are ready. Pennsylvania remains extremely important to elections here in our nation. I mean, voting is always important, full stop. But if you want to have your voice heard, this is one way to do that. We'll put a link in the show notes to the state website.
And another semi-political note, Pennsylvania Attorney General Dave Sunday is suing TikTok.
Yes, we mentioned this very briefly on Friday, but we promised some details. So the lawsuit was filed in the Court of Common Pleas right here in Allegheny County. And it says that TikTok, quote, misrepresents its app as age appropriate for teens as young as 13.
So Sunday, he's a Republican, says that he's done an investigation into this. I want to know how he did this investigation or his office.
I read that. I'm like, wait, what's the investigation entail? Do you just like doom scroll to the end of the TikTok? Like, how do you, I'm sure there's a way that they go about this.
Right. But give me the methodology. But anyway.
Government trying to figure out social media is always hilarious, regardless of party.
I'm always kind of wary of it, but anyway, Sunday says that there's a lot more mature content on the app than TikTok claims.
Correct.
And that is a violation of the Pennsylvania Consumer Protection Law. This lawsuit also says that TikTok is addictive, which is bad for your health, especially, you know, for teens. I have to agree with Dave Sunday on this one. The endless scroll really gets me. And if I were younger and more impressionable, you know what? I'm still worried about myself now. Scratch that, scratch that.
Bad for you now. Probably even worse for you if you have a 13 or younger brain.
Mhm.
Part of this lawsuit says that TikTok's efforts to limit screen time just aren't effective.
Yeah, I
and
can actually speak to this because I think
I've heard you
TikTok.
complain about this in the office before.
Yeah, I think at some point I like deleted, re-downloaded TikTok, and maybe some settings got confused because I think it does not think I'm an adult anymore. And now there's this pop-up that happens about like limit your screen time hours from 10 to 6, but all I have to do is click ignore and it goes away and I can scroll for literally as long as I want. It is one
Cool.
button, does nothing.
I feel like that's like that reminder that doesn't, I don't even know if Netflix still has this, where it's like, are you still watching?
Right, exactly. It's just
Like,
a click away.
Low key judging you for your behavior, for your patterns. The Attorney General's office says they're looking at TikTok to change their policies. Maybe that means like bumping up the age rating.
That's what I assume. It looks like from reporting, like based on TikTok, maybe 16 plus, 18 plus might be more age appropriate. We'll see, though, because I know other AGs have sued TikTok for like similar reasons around how it hurts teens, but those cases are in court. So my guess is this Pennsylvania one is also going to take a minute.
And if you're listening to any of this and you're just like, well, what can they even reasonably do? I did have a similar thought, but I read a book last year that like completely changed my perspective. The tech companies have a lot more power and ability to limit this stuff than we think they do. If anybody else is curious, the book, The Anxious Generation, not Pittsburgh specific, no connection that I'm aware of, but it was fascinating as it relates to like the effect all of the social media and the endless scroll is having on children, on young people, and like what these tech companies could do if our governments would actually hold them to account. CityCast Pittsburgh is brought to you today by Butler County. You can make the most of the end of summer by taking a weekend trip to Butler County, Pennsylvania. Located less than an hour outside of Pittsburgh, the Butler County area is known for its small-town charm, quirky attractions, and outdoor recreation. Shop and stroll a historic Main Street, dine and relax at one of the area's breweries or wineries, and take time in nature at Moraine State Park. With cool campsites, cozy B&Bs, classic hotels, there is truly no shortage of ways to stay. Experience Butler County, PA is your guide to the perfect visit. Their website hosts an in-depth events calendar, season-by-season guides to Butler County, and its online destination guide. Visit experiencebutler.com today and start planning your next weekend adventure. Today's show is brought to you in part by U-Test. With the price of everything going up and up and up, snagging any chance to make a couple extra dollars can be a good idea. And the company U-Test is giving Yins an exclusive opportunity to interact with new wearable technology and contribute to its future accessibility, all while earning $50 an hour. They say all are welcome to apply, no experience necessary. You just have to be 18 years or older and based in or near Pittsburgh. The testing facility is at the Strip District. Parking is provided, and you can plan to spend up to 3 hours. If that sounds exciting, get your application started. You can apply by using the link they gave us just for CityCast Pittsburgh people. It's link.utest.com/CityCast. And if you're already certain you definitely want to do this and you know someone else it might be perfect for, you can earn an additional $20 for referring them. Again, that link is link.utest.com/CityCast. We're back, and we thought now was maybe a good time to do a little mailbag segment because y'all have had thoughts and feelings about the shows from the last week. So many great recommendations, first of all, for vintage, thrift, consignment, and flea shops around Pittsburgh. This was our episode yesterday. Couple shout outs in particular in our inbox. Nancy H. said to try Gently Used Shop in the Abundant Life building at Passivant Senior Life in Zelienople. This is so specific.
That's my first thought.
I love it. In case you missed it, we put a shout out or a call out, I guess, on Instagram asking, and there were hundreds of recommendations. Obviously, some repeats in there, like some of these shops tagging themselves. Like, we love to see it. But we also had folks in the inbox. Stephanie F., for example, said Close Minded in Bloomfield. I can't express how many DMs we got about Close Minded.
And I will second all of them. I like Closed Minded a lot. It's not super big, so it's pretty approachable. They have fitting rooms. They also take a fair amount of clothes too. Like, I find it's pretty easy to sell to them. So if that's something you're interested in, could also be a place to give away, sell your old stuff. They offer store credit and cash.
Yeah. So if you missed that episode, give it a listen. We do talk about the differences between thrift, flea, consignment, vintage, antiquing. Like, we are aware that they are different things. Going back a couple more days, on Thursday, we talked about some new restaurant openings, some closings. One of those closings was Bryant Street Tavern in Highland Park. We had asked if anyone knew what was coming next or maybe where to go instead in the neighborhood. Bonus points if it had a patio. And CityCast Pittsburgh neighbor Chaz G called into the hotline with this suggestion.
Gotta give a lot of love to Park Place Pub on Bryant Street. It looks a little divier than the rest of the bars in the area, but it's also home to Applewood Smoke Burger Company. Some of the best burgers ever in the city. They got a really great patio outside, really cheap drinks, by the way, and it's quite an experience with a lot of the locals. Their former bartender, Jeff, I think sometimes on Mondays he'll cook food. One time we went there and he had some burritos with homemade consomme. It's always an experience to go there. It's a really great neighborhood spot, and just want to keep getting people over there because if we don't have it, there's not really anything else left.
I also love the sweet potato fries there. They have this maple sauce that goes on one of their burgers, but it's such a good fry sauce too.
Okay, you have some personal experience. I love it. Chaz, thank you. If y'all hear us like openly beg for you to call our hotline, we're being serious. We actually want to know your recommendations. Sometimes we've been there, but often we have not. And we welcome them always. We also got a few folks sending over their preferred grocery store lineup. Sophia, in our episode last Monday, now we talked about just
grocery
like
store wars.
The feeling lately that like
Yes.
centers kind of Pittsburgh's kind of the center of this whole grocery store experience, like so many brands paying attention to us all of a sudden. But it's like juxtaposed with this frustrating feeling of like, okay, cool. Some areas have 15, 20 different grocery stores to choose from, or even like 3 or 4, let's be real. And other neighborhoods are like full on food deserts. And that's like a frustrating thing to like watch take place.
So what grocery stores do people recommend? Are there any like hidden neighborhood gems?
Well, it was mostly what we talked about in the episode, like, combos of like the big box stores. Although some people did, like I said, Costco. Some people were like, no, Sam's Club is better. Or no, I ride hard for BJ's, that kind of thing. There were also several people mentioning like the coupons with Shop and Save being worth your time to actually go hunting for. I guess those are pretty good. We did have a couple Giant Eagle Defenders, which I thought was very funny. But I just wanted to say thank you in particular to Fran T, Dick R, Judy P, Grace D, and Daniel S. There were a lot more, but like y'all were so specific with your lineups. And I think it's really funny. Also, Coons, smaller grocers. There is a lot of grocery store love in this town.
Yes, lots of grocery store love. And, while we're talking about some good news, there is more news outlets coming to Pittsburgh, or like ones that are up and running.
Yeah.
You can actually read them now. So the first one is the Mention newspaper. So I think this is super interesting because it's written by unhoused people. This is founded by Maddie Sibbo. Hope I'm saying your name right as well. And Maddie was inspired by a similar project in Nashville. So the Mention is online right now. There are just a few articles up because it is still up and coming. Articles include first-person accounts from unhoused people living in Pittsburgh. There's poetry, job search tips, tips for people experiencing homelessness in Pittsburgh. And writers have also offered to answer questions. So if you have a question about homelessness, you can submit that online. You can submit on the Mentions website. The online version is free for now, but there is a small paywall coming in the future, like $2 to $4, not a ton at all. And the print version might be coming out in spring or summer of next year. The idea is that the founder is hoping that unhoused people will be selling the print paper, to earn money. And writers are also getting paid for their work, so you should be supporting this project, I think. So this whole thing is being funded by a combination of ads, subscriptions, and grants to make sure folks get paid. And congratulations to our friends at the Pittsburgh Progress. This is the city's newest cooperative news outlet.
Yeah, I feel like this has been in the works for ages. This is the new name for the cooperative publication brought to us by many of the formerly striking journalists from the Post-Gazette. They all went back to work, but then when the Venetouillas Institute for Local Journalism bought the newspaper I guess it went through in May. I'm not sure the legalities on that, but anyway, that's when it all switched over to Venetouillas. They obviously kept the outlet, like Pittsburgh gets to keep its news source, but they downsized the staff tremendously, especially the newsroom. So some of the folks that departed from the Post-Gazette then have now started the Progress. Just so exciting to see them continuing to do this great work. And I would be surprised if they don't have an emphasis on union issues and labor rights here in the city. So that's going to be really exciting too. Sophia, one more that I will shout out, Petrichor. Are you familiar with this one? The art magazine?
I've heard about this. Yes.
Yeah, they've been around since 2023, I believe. You can find it online too. It's like an art scene magazine. But I was reminded when we were putting this together that they also celebrated a big launch party. I think there might have been like a physical product a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I've seen people circulating photos, but I haven't seen the physical magazine myself yet.
Yeah, I haven't gotten my hands on one yet, but just wanted to shout them out too. It's really hard to do physical media in the year of our Lord. So like, good job, all of you.
And one more quick thing I wanted to mention about PRT. Public comment is open for the bus line refresh's last draft. So PRT has been working on this bus line redesign project for a while, about 3 years. We have talked about it a lot, and they switched from calling it a redesign to a refresh.
I wondered if that was the same thing. Okay, thank you. They just rebranded the re of it all, the reimagining.
Yeah, I mean, if my memory is correct, like people weren't super happy with the first draft. So I think they may have taken that into account and they're not changing it as significantly. I know the first draft had a ton of bus lines going away. I might be wrong on this, but
I also wonder,
they rebranded the rebrand.
I wonder if it's because like it ended up not being a full redesign. So a refresh was like redesign light. I don't know.
Okay.
This is just me wondering.
Yeah, these are our theories. But regardless, get your final opinions in now. The public comment period does run for a while. It's open now and runs through the end of September. We'll have a link in the show notes for all of the information, the new maps. You can comment online, send them an email, voicemail, snail mail. But I think one thing that's important is that there is a public info session tonight. It is virtual from 5:30 to 7:30. I think if there's you have any lingering questions or want someone to explain the changes to you because the maps can get a little confusing, this is the time for it.
CityCast Pittsburgh is brought to you today by Butler County. You can make the most of the end of summer by taking a weekend trip to Butler County, Pennsylvania. Located less than an hour outside of Pittsburgh, the Butler County area is known for its small-town charm, quirky attractions, and outdoor recreation. Shop and stroll a historic Main Street, dine and relax at one of the area's breweries or wineries, and take time in nature at Moraine State Park. With cool campsites, cozy B&Bs, classic hotels, there is truly no shortage of ways to stay. Experience Butler County, PA is your guide to the perfect visit. Their website hosts an in-depth events calendar, season-by-season guides to Butler County, and its online destination guide. Visit experiencebutler.com today and start planning your next weekend adventure. Today's show is brought to you in part by U-Test. With the price of everything going up and up and up, snagging any chance to make a couple extra dollars can be a good idea. And the company U-Test is giving Yins an exclusive opportunity to interact with new wearable technology and contribute to its future accessibility, all while earning $50 an hour. They say all are welcome to apply, no experience necessary. You just have to be 18 years or older and based in or near Pittsburgh. The testing facility is at the Strip District. Parking is provided, and you can plan to spend up to 3 hours. If that sounds exciting, get your application started. You can apply by using the link they gave us just for CityCast Pittsburgh people. It's link.utest.com/CityCast. And if you're already certain you definitely want to do this and you know someone else it might be perfect for, you can earn an additional $20 for referring them. Again, that link is link.utest.com/CityCast. Last up, we're going to talk about some events for the week. This is becoming our regular thing on Tuesdays, is to talk about events to mark your calendar for. Of course, if you ever need inspiration for stuff to do, head over to our website, pittsburgh.citycast.fm/events. We always try to keep a running list and like a mix of stuff. A lot of it's free, different kinds of neighborhoods, ways to engage, ways like happy hours, runs, all kinds of fun things. But this one felt like sort of poignant, Sophia, because like as we were looking at the news this morning, we were sort of laughing at how many headlines seem to indicate that summer is over or ending soon. Like there's the back to school stuff. Like they announced that city pool hours are going to be reducing slightly. Very briefly this morning, we thought that the Thunderbolt, that roller coaster at Kennywood, was going to be going offline for the rest of the season. And then they pulled that back.
Okay.
They were like, just kidding. We'll keep it online through September and then we'll do the maintenance. The Steelers are in preseason. Like it's just funny, like all these like hallmarks of like fall is coming. And I'm curious if your event recommendations this week reflect that.
Well, the first one is about cats, so it's
We're
not
back to
really
cats.
seasonal.
That's fine.
I personally think this is
Suspense.
all year round. Yes, we have Pittsburgh's first cat walk, and it is taking place in Brighton Heights. This is super exciting to me. It's going to be on Saturday, August 22nd from 12 to 2.
I'm glad you mentioned this one because we actually got a recommendation for it from one of our neighbors, Jennifer B. Sent it via DM and then also saw her out in the wild and said again, like, oh, I'm so excited about this. They have them in other cities and I'm so glad they're bringing one here. Sophia, tell people what to expect.
It is exactly what it sounds like. You get to wander through Brighton Heights and look at cats sitting on windows, all that sort of good stuff.
Cats are not walking. You are walking to the cats.
You are walking to the cats, but also the organizers. This has been organized by two people, Heather Costello and Carlin Christie. They say, if your cat will sit in a backpack or something, feel free to bring the cat. So we'll see how many cats there are.
20 spots, though. 20 spots on a 2.5 mile route.
Yeah, about 20. Axios Pittsburgh has this great quote for what to expect. Cats, all capitalization, from a 20-year-old Bengal named Sausage to other A-listers like Pippin, Penny, Ember, and Zoe. I love that we're calling them A-listers. This is really important.
This is so goofy and I love it. I feel like almost every neighborhood in Pittsburgh could do their version of this if they wanted to.
I really hope they do, but this one in Brighton Heights starts at Legion Memorial Park. You can do a self-guided wander, but a group tour begins at 12:30. The park's also going to have like animal rescue groups, nonprofits there, snacks. There are raffles. Someone made this gorgeous handmade quilt with cats on it. Giant cat puppets. Don't know what that means. Excited to learn.
I want to see. Yeah.
There is a suggested $10 to $20 donation, but the funds are going to Pittsburgh Paw Project and Frankie's Friends. Frankie's Friends is actually where I adopted Mimolette. I highly recommend them. The process was super easy, and they work with Black Cat Market, like the Cat Cafe on Penn Avenue, like in the Garfield area. So you can go in, meet the cats, don't have to adopt. They offer passes if you want to just sit there and look at cats all day. But the organizers hope to make this an annual event. So I also hope that catwalks pop around for years to come and in many, many neighborhoods. 90 catwalks for Pittsburgh.
I love Black Cat Market. It's how I have to get my fix because someone in my household is allergic to cats. So I have to get my fix elsewhere. And I hope to get some pets in from Mimolette when she's ready.
Absolutely.
What else is on your agenda this week, Sophia?
There is another first-time event. It is the Garlic Festival. So this is going to be at Flora Park Garden Center. So that's in South Park. This is also happening the same weekend, but on Sunday from 12 to 3.
I saw this one. It did kind of give me like changing of the season vibe, like a little. It's like end of summer kind of. But I think I thought that because of the way that what is it, like Pittsburgh's like gardening celebrity, Doug Oster was talking about it. He's been on like KDKA. He worked for the Post Gazette.
He has a show on there.
He worked for the Post Gazette for years and years and years as their gardening expert. Then he worked at the Trib for a long time. Like he is like such an institution. I've been to a few of his talks. They're just a joy. He is like the most down-to-earth human and talks about his yard and like experimentation and just like finding like peace and play outside. It's so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So this event is free, but donations are encouraged for the South Hills Interfaith Movement. So they're looking for shelf-stable foods like jarred pasta sauce, oatmeal, low-sodium soup, personal hygiene items, pet food. You can also donate cash, totally acceptable. And anyone who donates gets a free hose nozzle. So we're getting into the gardening of it all. And obviously it's all focused around garlic. So there are fresh garlic seeds for sale. Doug will be there giving a talk about how to best plant garlic and mitigate any pests that might try to get to it. And there's going to be samples. Megan, the samples sound amazing. There is going to be ultimate Alfredo pasta, honey roasted garlic ice cream with balsamic glaze, and spotted lanternfly honey. I'm really excited for this. I've been trying to get my hands on a jar. This is honey made from lanternfly, I think poop? Spit? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not it doesn't sound pleasant, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, don't think deeply about how it's being made. But yes, I remember us talking about this the first time. Like, I think it was you and me and our former newsletter writer, Francesca DeBecco, were talking about this because it's supposed to be darker than honey made from bees, like a little more savory, maybe a little sour. So it's like a different flavor. I don't know. It just what a ridiculous thing. Like it's actually making like lemonade from lemons as it relates to like bug infestations, you know?
I think all of those sound like such unique treats. There's going to be music too, more raffles. The Bethel Park Fire Department's there to show off the truck for kids. So I think lots to do. This is also a festival that I hope comes for years and years to come. And the last event I want to share is another festival. This one's Flower Fest. So this is on Bigham Street in Mount Washington, also on Sunday, August 23rd from 12 to 5. I really love this festival because you get to pick your own flowers at Armful of Flowers Urban Flower Farm. You can also build your own bouquet, but I think it's really nice to pick your own. It's like this little oasis in the city. And, you know, there's a lot of great farms around here that do some wildflower or fruit picking or something. But it's also nice to be able to do it in the city.
Yeah, I like this festival, but I'm the opposite of you, Sophia. It stresses me out to build my own bouquet because I feel like I do it wrong and then it's not as pretty as when someone else does it for me. They do have pre-made bouquets for people like me who like don't want to paint with every crayon in the box. They want something pretty presented to them. There's something for you as well.
Yes, you can shop right at Armful of Flowers. There's also a ton of vendors and local artists. In terms of snacks, I see that Nectar Candy Company is there. They do like build your own bag of candy. It's all Swedish gummies. They have delectable sour candies. There's also flower-inspired lemonades, biscottis. An Armful of Flowers also partners with Bigham Tavern for this, so you can pop over there for a full meal. There's also
such good Pittsburgh salad. The wings are top-notch. I love Bingham.
And there's also a flower design competition. I don't know if it's too late to enter this yet, but should be beautiful to look at. The winner gets a flower display and you can set up advertising materials with Armful of Flowers. So, you know, if you're another flower company, I think it's nice they're doing this support. But, you know, if you're just like really good on your own, you do this as a hobby, you do get a gift basket and bragging rights. So something for everyone.
No kidding. Well, Sophia, thank you. I do feel like you are leaning hard into summer's not done yet. Don't go anywhere kind of energy.
Yeah, you bet I will be at the pools until they close.
As you should. Y'all, if you are listening to this, please don't go anywhere. Just a second, you're going to hear a conversation sponsored by the Water Lantern Festival featuring CityCast content director Andrea Salenzi talking with Tess Rouser, the festival's marketing manager.
Hey, CityCast content director Andrea Salenzi here. There are some things we do outside that I look forward to all year long. Picking apples in the fall, winter light shows, food festivals on a really hot summer night. And I'm here to suggest a new tradition you're going to have to experience for yourself. Releasing a glowing lantern into the water at sunset, right in the middle of your beautiful city, surrounded by hundreds of your neighbors doing the exact same thing. That's what I'm talking about today with Tess Rouser, the marketing manager for the Water Lantern Festival. Hey, Tess.
Hi, Andrea. How are you?
Oh, I'm so excited for folks to picture what this festival really looks like. So the Water Lantern Festival happens in cities all over the country. If you're hearing this, it's coming to your city soon. So for someone who's never been What is it actually like to be there?
The Water Lantern Festival isn't your typical festival. Yes, when you arrive, there are food trucks and local vendors. There's family activities, games going on, a scavenger hunt. It's very lively, fun, upbeat music going on. But the event definitely turns inward and more reflective as the night goes on. It really pivots and the music changes and the whole vibe changes. So it's almost the best of both worlds. Guests are encouraged to write on their lanterns, and everyone gathers by the water at sunset to release their lanterns. That's definitely the peak of the event. Watching hundreds or even sometimes thousands of lanterns on the water is incredibly peaceful and emotional. People often tell us that it's a moment that stays with them long after the night ends.
So everyone who attends gets to personalize their own lantern before releasing it in the water. What have you seen people write or draw on their lanterns?
Yes, so each ticket comes with a lantern that comes with everything you'll need for the evening. Your markers, the biodegradable paper that you can write on or design. And that's one of the most important parts of the event. People write, all kinds of things. Messages of love or hope or remembrance or gratitude, or sometimes people are setting intentions or goals for what they want to do that year. More of a personal story for me. I lost my nephew 3 years ago, and there was a lantern festival near me on his angelversary 2 years after. And it was the most incredible and meaningful experience that I was able to have with my family, where we came and remembered him and honored him and shared stories about him and released it onto the water in a glowing just moment of remembrance. But honestly, we see so many things. We see lots of proposals. There's nothing like seeing someone down on one knee proposing in front of just thousands of lanterns on the water. So it's fun because every lantern tells a personal story, but when they're released together, it becomes a meaningful and powerful shared moment.
So it's shared grief or shared celebration. It's kind of all of it.
It is. It's all of it. You'll see names, you'll see dates, hearts, drawings, but even sometimes just a single word that holds a lot of meaning.
So when you look out at the crowd at one of these festivals, what do you see? Is this families, couples? Who's the attendee?
It's really a diverse crowd, which is something we absolutely love. You'll see the families with kids, couples, friends groups, lots of girls' nights with their charcuterie boards and blankets and pillows that they've brought to set up camp for the night. There isn't one type of attendee, and that's something we absolutely love. So it definitely brings together people from all walks of life.
Can you give me the scale of Water Lantern Festival? Like, how long has this been going on? How many cities have you been to? How many people have released a lantern into the water?
Yes, we actually just surpassed our 2 million lanterns being released into the water. So the largest lantern festival of its kind. We've been in business for 9 years. So what started as just a small community gathering has expanded and grown to over 175 different cities, nationwide and now worldwide, expanding into Australia, Canada, the UK, Mexico here in a few weeks. So it's really fun to be able to bring this experience of love and hope and connection to the world.
Is there anything else someone should know before they get their ticket? Any tips for attending?
I'd encourage people to come with an open heart and to give themselves time to enjoy the experience from start to finish. It's not meant to be a fast-paced event. It's meant to slow you down and create space for that reflection and connection. So it's always a good idea to come early so you can still hit the food trucks, the music, the vendors, the booths, the scavenger hunt, but then still have time to sit and personalize your lantern and just take everything in and turn more inward.
Tess, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Andrea.
If you want to find a Water Lantern Festival near you and grab tickets, just head to waterlanternfestival.com. You can search for your city there, and it's a good idea to get your tickets in advance since many events do sell out. And for the latest updates, you can follow them on social media at Water Lantern Festival. Thanks for listening.
That is all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. You can still support us and get some of our classic swag. It's not too late. Do it all at membership.citycast.fm/Pittsburgh. We'll be back tomorrow with more from around the city. Talk to you then.
But I hope next year they get a local artist to design the poster. I think AI did it because Pittsburgh skyline does not look like that.
Wait, I have to click. Oh, yeah. This feels big AI.
I still think there's a lot of good here. They're trying to support a local organization. There's going to be talks, but,
Fingers crossed for next time. There's opportunity for the future.